His wife is sick and you're moving in on him. It's all wrong and you know it is, and that is why you're hiding it.
It's not a crime. It's not wrong.
Tanya thinks it is. And I wonder what Deborah would say if she knew.
Oh, which Deborah? The one that used to be my wife, or the one with Alzheimer's, who on a good day thinks I'm a father, on a bad day hasn't got the faintest idea? I love two women equally in very different ways. I just don't know what to do about it.
There's nothing to be done about it because you don't mean it. Not really.
I do. You know it.
No, I don't. We're friends, nothing more. And that's what we agreed.
Yvonne.
Please. What you're suggesting
is what we both want.
How long is your bigamist going to get? Not enough, I'm sure, because he's as guilty as sin.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Could you hold your hand up in front of a judge and say that? Because I've got a mate down the district court who'll take one look at you and tell you're lying. Shall I call him?
You're being silly.
No, I'm being honest. I'm not lying to you anymore. I'm not saying there's nothing there when there is.
I think you should go.
No, we need to talk this out.
No, I said you must go.
No. I hope this doesn't mean that
Look, I just need some time alone. Please? Don't make me ask again.
We're just sitting here waiting for you. Well, what's the hold-up? Oh, please, just hurry. Idiots.
What now?
A funeral home. They've only just found the lid.
You're kidding.
And then they spun me some bull about the traffic. They might be another half an hour.
Koretake.
Oh, you're telling us, eh, Dad?
That's okay, you can cry.
No. Not yet. Not till he's safe.
Yeah, once he gets to the mud-eye, no one will touch him.
No one will touch him because his army mates heard what happened and they're going to stand guard 24/7. Nothing like a man in uniform, eh?
Yeah, he does look smart.
Apart from the shoes.
Eh?
I handed those shoes over polished and perfect. I don't know how, but those funeral home people have scuffed them. It's the least of my worries.
I'm sure there's something we can do about that.
You've done enough already, Doc. Have a rest.
I'll get him. It's okay.
Have you seen Brooke?
She left last week.
I know she resigned last week, but she'll have to work out a notice, surely.
Oh, Kettle need off the hook.
So she's gone?
Yep.
No staying power. That's Brooke and Spades. I hate to say it, but resign and flee is pretty typical of our Dr. Freeman.
But under the circumstances, understandable.
So Daddy did wrong and she copped some fallout. Our personal life shouldn't affect our professional commitment, surely.
We try not to let it, but of course, one affects the other. I'm not two different people, are you?
I'm just sorry you're left in the lurch.
Well, I wasn't a fan, but no one deserves that kind of pressure. Not for something your father did.
Do you know where she's moved on to?
Why are you asking me? I thought you two were friends.
We have been, at times.
But this isn't one of them.
Oh, I thought they'd brighten up the room a little.
They're beautiful. Thank you again.
I bought some for myself as well.
For the office.
And home.
Quite the splurge.
Well, we can afford it. Karen just put more shares in this medical supply company.
Shares? I don't like the sound of that. The crash of '87 saw a lot of people lose everything. And what about all those finance companies that have gone bust? The big bosses take all the money and run.
Mum, it's just one investment.
Well, he should be buying you a house first. You know, can't flat forever.
Well, that's next on the list. Karen is turning into quite the businessman.
And is marriage on that list yet?
Enough about me. How are things going with you and Fraser?
Fine. Where should we put these?
Mum, spill.
He says he loves me.
No, so soon.
He was just here. Made his feelings very clear.
What did you say?
I sent him packing.
Oh, good. You need to clarify your boundaries and let him know that a friendship is all that you want.
But it isn't.
You mean you love him too? Mum, that is wonderful. And let's face it, How many more chances are you going to get?
Thank you, Libby.
So why did you send him away?
Because of his wife, because of his whole situation. It's all too much, too soon.
You'll work those things out.
I'm not so sure. It's not that easy.
Mum, Fraser was brave enough to come clean to you about how he really felt, and that is not easy. Now it's your turn.
I told TK not to worry.
It's no problem. My husband used to be in the army. I know all about shiny shoes.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. How are you holding up?
I'm a bit of a mess. If it wasn't for TK, he's 1 in a million.
Certainly is. See, your dad was too.
Yeah, he was.
A war hero?
No, well, no more than anyone else. It was for service. They were all heroes, weren't they? Right, down to business. Just doing a bit of a touch-up, Dad. Won't be long.
It's looking much better already.
There's one bit I can't quite... Oh, no, I'm going to get the lining all dirty.
If we could take the shoes off, if that's allowed.
Better not. Bugger it. Sorry, Dad, just a wee detour. Oh, look, they didn't even pull his socks up properly.
What's this?
What?
Has your dad had surgery on his legs?
No.
Oh, could you lift the other trouser leg up?
Can I help?
Hello. I'm a friend of the woman who lived here, Brooke Freeman.
She left.
Did she leave a forwarding address?
No. And if you see her, you can tell her that lot's going to the cellars. If she doesn't, return my calls. Yes?
Yes, sure. I'll tell her. If I see her.
What do you make of it?
I have no idea.
You know what? The suturing. It's a bit rough, but you can still tell whoever it was knew what they were doing. Remind you of anyone?
Joey.
Copycat on the loose?
Don't whisper. I want to know what's happened.
The funeral home could have made the incisions for some reason.
Some reason I can't think of. Audrey, how long was the body gone from the funeral home?
I don't know. Hours, overnight. Why?
Let's just deal with one thing at a time, eh?
What's he talking about?
Let me sort this.
You have to ask her, TK.
Ask me what?
Scotty.
Just say it. I need to know.
The people who stole the body, or the people who ordered the body to be stolen, do any of them have medical knowledge? Doctors, nurses?
You're saying someone in the family did this?
We're not saying anything anymore until we get some facts.
More phone calls, more waiting.
Just a little while longer.
I just want to grieve for my dad. I just want this over.
Hey, Piper. How about I made you nosh up lunch today, my shout?
Tempting, but frock shopping calls. It's been ages since I spilled grog down something decent.
Let me come with you. You choose, I charge.
Yeah, I saw Pretty Woman too, but unlike Julia, I can't be bought.
It was the dress I was buying, not you.
No, it wasn't.
Gee, you don't let even one get by, do you?
I'm not like your other girlfriends, remember? What was it you said? Take no crap, warrior princess?
I'm still getting used to it, that's all. The women I'm usually with like to take advantage of all I have to offer.
Look how well that's worked out.
Did you hear Brooks left town? Not even seeing out a notice.
No, I didn't. How do you know?
I went round to a place, it's vacant. She must have left in a hurry. Landlady doesn't even know where.
You must be pleased.
No, sad, really. So self-destructive despite everything she has going for her. You're just the opposite.
Me and my self-destructive button are on friendlier terms now. Only just.
But you see, Brooke would let me buy her a fancy lunch and a new dress. In fact, she'd insist upon it.
Is that right?
You don't need me. I like that.
And being compared to your ex-girlfriends, can you guess how much I like that?
Unless he knows there's a real future for them, he's put Mum in an awful position.
I agree. I mean, has he actually left his wife? No.
But she's left him, hasn't she? Well, she's got no idea what's going on. It can't hurt her.
In sickness and in health.
Exactly. Mum deserves to know he's seriously committed before she takes him on.
Or what? Her flower arranging course will suffer? Come on, it's Sunset Love. She should grab it and have some fun.
You really want to see Mum as some tawdry mistress?
I was thinking something more French. Catherine Deneuvish with big dark sunglasses and hats.
Oh, yeah, that's Mum all over. You're missing the point.
No, the point is Fraser was being honest and now it's Mum's turn.
It doesn't matter what they feel. He needs to leave his wife first, make sure she's set up, safe and sound, and then come back to Mum with a real offer.
She would never want him to leave his sick wife on her account.
So we're back to the sophisticated French mistress option.
Grow up, would you?
I'm serious. He has a sick wife. Mum had a horribly sick husband. They both deserve to have some love and fun, so let them have it.
Do something useful with your mouth.
Where are you going?
Well, I can't just sit around here waiting for Mum to become some bit on the side now, can I?
Knock, knock. Busy, I see.
Yes, how can I help?
Shall I come back?
Sorry, I'm just deciding whether to invest in another Cliff Waterman to complete my collection. I have to decide finally. It's up for auction today.
If we could talk about the roster for a sec. I see the corrective surgery on Mr. Clayton's bow legs has been reassigned to you.
It's a useful teaching exercise for my SRD team.
As head of surgery, I should have been consulted.
You might like to read my contract.
Why, does it have pictures of Cliff Waterman's too?
No, it just states very clearly that I can appropriate any surgeries of educational value I see fit.
Not without my consent.
Read my contract.
Perhaps I'll just get the CEO to read it out for me.
Go right ahead and let me know how you fare.
I will. I guess you know Brooks skipped town, cleared out of her apartment?
Right.
So no idea where she might be?
None.
Then maybe you should pull your head out of that catalogue at least.
I just need to know what's happened, Uncle. It makes no sense to me, and Dad doesn't deserve this treatment. I need to talk to the boys. I need to know exactly where they went when they took him. Bring me as soon as you get this.
What do you think's happened?
Well, it's not an embalming procedure, that's for sure.
Well, any idea how those sutures got there?
None. But it had absolutely nothing to do with any practice at the funeral home, I guarantee it.
So let's get this clear. The sutures weren't there when he arrived at the funeral.
Well, I didn't work on the body, I'm sorry. I couldn't say. I can find out from my assistant who did, but I would be surprised.
Right.
We did once receive a body that had had an autopsy performed on it by mistake. Maybe that's what's happened here.
Maybe. I'm still waiting to hear back. That's okay. I'll get to the bottom of this somehow.
Here you are. Even with a neck brace, you're not easy to find.
Are you still on your break?
Just. I hear you've had a declaration.
I have indeed.
So what are you thinking?
How lonely I get sometimes.
But you're surrounded by family and friends who love you heaps.
But it's not the same, is it? You know that. An old duck like me, you think this sort of thing has passed you by. The sweaty palms, the palpitations, and out of the blue.
You do love him, then? So how will it work?
I have no idea.
Mum, you can't be someone's mistress. It's wrong. You've always taught us that.
I taught you all sorts of things. It doesn't mean you always listened.
Well, no. But afterwards, I wished I had.
We always know afterwards, don't we? What about now? Why can't I do what I want for once? There's always time for afterwards.
He's married, Mum. You know it's not right.
Right won't make anyone happy, will it?
Maybe not this time.
How many more times do you think I have left?
This isn't you, Mum. Fraser has manipulated this whole thing. End it.
You're sweet to worry.
No, Charlotte, just the Waterman.
Aren't you the smart Alec?
Yeah, top bid 58,000. I'm going to be in surgery all afternoon, so you'll have to do my bidding unaided. Yeah. Fingers crossed, eh, Charlotte? Okay, bye. Ethan, another visit. I am lucky.
I just found out from Libby that you're acting CEO.
That's right.
Perhaps you could have told me that when I said I was going to take up the roster situation with Callum.
People learn better when they have to make discoveries for themselves. It's something I see with my surgeons every day.
I'm not your trainee. I am the head of surgery, and I'm trying to find a way that we can work together.
I'm open to that.
Except it's impossible when you've decided you're a law unto yourself. You can't just hijack surgery.
Hijack? Oh, that's a bit steep. The whole point of the SRD is to train surgeons in specialised procedures.
I realise that.
Good. So it follows that we need specialised cases to do just that.
Only if I...
Aren't you taking this all just a little bit too personally?
You're right. I didn't think it through. Sorry for the misunderstanding. But I'm trying to establish some ground rules for our professional relationship.
They're clearer now, I hope.
Crystal.
Then apology accepted. Both legs sutured.
The entire length of each lateral aspect.
Well, that's bizarre. The funeral home knows nothing?
No, although we're still waiting to hear directly from the woman who worked on the body, but the funeral director had never seen anything like it.
Excuse me, Chris.
What is it?
Heads up, your afternoon surgery, Mrs. Callis, has been bumped to tomorrow afternoon.
Any reason why?
Scheduling problems.
Okay, thank you. So do you think the family had something to do with it? They were travelling with the body for a long time.
Opportunity, yes, but motive, equipment, skill.
So what are we left with?
Suturing that's been done by someone with training.
You think someone here at the hospital?
I'm just guessing. I think we need to call the police.
No. I mean, not yet. I don't want a media circus here till we know what we're dealing with.
Well, what if we're dealing with another Joey Henderson? Someone who's practicing their suturing skills, someone who's a nutter. Now, Audrey's upset and she wants answers.
Understandably. But let me get on to the mortuary first.
I've already spoken to Vivian. She's busy, but will come up when she can.
Let's see how busy she is after I talk to her. Yeah, it's Chris Warner. I want to speak to Vivian, please. I don't care what she's doing. Then I'll take a look at the body myself.
Of course.
I'm with Tanya. Fraser's been selfish and...
Honest. First about being married, and now about his true feelings. Surely I owe him the same.
But telling you that he loves you straight off like that, it's too soon. What if it all goes bust? Then you'll never see him again. You're better off sticking with friendship. It lasts longer, probably a lifetime.
But there's no friendship without honesty, is there? And what am I afraid of anyway? I'm too old to give a fig what anyone else thinks. You taught me that much.
Me? How?
By being an out and proud gay woman. It wasn't easy for any of us at the time, but you were true to your feelings and made a stand. If you hadn't, where would you be today?
One very unhappy closet case.
You see, truth or unhappiness. I think I know what I have to choose, don't you?
Why hasn't that funeral home bloke got back to us?
If he doesn't soon, we'll go around there personally.
And Uncle Machu hasn't called and no one can find him? Nothing.
According to our records, Mr. Waipara arrived at the morgue at 8:30 a.m. and was at the Haldane Funeral Home by 10.
Who was on duty?
It was me, and I can assure you that the body had not been tampered with when I received it, or any time before it was sent to the funeral home.
So if it was nobody at the hospital, and the funeral home say they didn't do it?
It's just not adding up, is it?
Neither is this. His legs have very little weight to them.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Audrey, will you permit us to carry out a proper autopsy on your father? It's the only way we can get to the bottom of this.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Nice doing business. I'll be in touch.
Look at you, cat with cream.
No, cat with Cliff Waterman.
Cliff, you lost me.
A painter. Apparently quite the man in art circles, and I've just bought one of his finest.
That must have set you back a bit.
All to the tune of $58,100.
Are you serious?
Deadly. It gives me such a deep sense of personal satisfaction that's hard to describe.
Well, looks like you'll be buying the drinks then.
And that's just for starters. How about you and me throw a humdinger party? Big. Something people won't forget in a hurry.
I'm not sure.
Why not? I've officially signed my head of surgery contract and just bought this Cliff whatchamacallit. It's time to celebrate.
How about a naughty little booze up just you and me?
We can do that too. Come on, I'm seeing caterers, canapes, Cliff on my wall, pride of place. What do you say?
I guess I have just bought a new frock.
Well, then let's pull off that price tag and show it all off, baby.
How are you feeling?
A little bit sore, but glad that I'm going home.
I meant about...
You've been signed out. You must be relieved.
I am.
Well, I needn't have stayed back after all. Fraser can take you home.
No, I wouldn't oppose.
Oh, please. I'd like to.
She's precious cargo. Take care.
I will. Here, let me get that.
Thank you.
Shall we go?
Fraser, wait for a bit. You really threw me this morning.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, I am. As soon as you told me you loved me, I immediately felt sordid, as though I was already your mistress.
That's hardly the position we're in, Yvonne.
I see that now. What I should have said was thank you. I love you too.
Really?
Yes. And I want to keep on loving you, which is why I will never act on those feelings.
I don't understand.
Because you're married to Deborah, and no matter how absent we think she is, it's still wrong.
Surely there must be another way we can look at this.
Fraser, the moment we step over that line is the moment we both become cheats. How can I respect you then? How can I respect myself?
You're sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Right.
I can manage that.
Well, at least let me take you home and say goodbye.
I will never say goodbye to you, Fraser. In this way, I won't ever have to.
Just one ciggy, I promise.
No, come on. You're doing really well.
Finally!
Chris?
This will sound very strange, and I'm sorry, Audrey, it will be very upsetting.
Just tell me.
A thorough autopsy was conducted on your father, and they found PVC piping inside his legs, where his bones should have been.
Say again?
The leg bones have been removed. Femur, tibia, fibula, all of them.